On October 29, 1969, a programmer at UCLA typed 5 letters into a computer. Login. The system crashed after 2. The first message ever sent between 2 networked computers was an accident. They were trying to say login. What arrived on the other end, 350 miles away at Stanford, was the word lo. As in lo and behold. Nobody in that room knew they had just spoken the first word of the most transformative technology in human history. And nobody could have imagined that within 50 years, that connection between 2 machines would become a network carrying more than $1 billion of commerce every hour, connecting 5.5 billion people, and generating more data in a single day than all of human civilization produced in its first 5,000 years. What if it never happened? The Internet was not invented by one person. It was not built by a company. It was funded by the Pentagon. The Advanced Research Projects Agency, ARPA, created a network called ARPANET in the late 1960s to allow expensive university computers to share resources. Not to survive nuclear war. That is a myth. The actual goal was mundane: let researchers at UCLA use a computer at MIT without flying across the country. The key breakthrough came from Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn, who in 1974 designed TCP/IP, the protocol that allowed different networks to talk to each other. On January 1, 1983, ARPANET officially adopted TCP/IP, and the Internet, a network of networks, was born. But it was still a tool for academics and military researchers. The public had no idea it existed. Then came a British scientist working at a physics lab in Geneva who did something that might be the single most consequential act of generosity in modern history. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee proposed a system for linking documents across the network using something he called hypertext. He built HTML. He built HTTP. He built the first web browser and the first website. And when his employer, CERN, released it to the world in April 1993, they did not charge for it. They gave it away. For free. The World Wide Web, the thing you are using right now to watch this, was a gift. Berners-Lee could have become the wealthiest person in human history. He chose not to. Imagine if he had. Imagine if the web had been patented, licensed, locked behind a paywall. The entire trajectory changes. But for this scenario, we go further back. Not just no web. No Internet at all. No ARPANET. No TCP/IP. No network. What does the world look like? Start with communication. Without the Internet, there is no email. The 350 billion messages sent every day do not exist. Communication is telephone calls, fax machines, and letters. The fax machine, which sounds like a relic, was a $40 billion global industry in the 1990s. Japan still used fax machines well into the 2020s. Without the Internet, fax does not die. It evolves. Mobile phones still exist, but they are Nokia 3310s. Voice and text messages. No apps, no maps, no browsers, no social media in your pocket. The smartphone as we know it is impossible because everything that makes it smart requires an internet connection. GPS still works. The satellite system was built by the military in the 1970s, it does not need the internet. But Google Maps does not exist. You have a Garmin on your dashboard with preloaded maps that you update by plugging it into a computer and buying a new map cartridge. Real-time traffic rerouting? Not possible. Commerce looks completely different. The roughly 20% of all retail that currently happens online goes back to physical stores. Amazon does not exist. Jeff Bezos is still working at a hedge fund. Malls are thriving. Department stores are thriving. The Sears catalog, once called the consumer's Bible, is still in every American home. Classified ads in newspapers are still how you find a job, buy a car, or rent an apartment. Blockbuster has 9,000 stores. Netflix does not exist. You drive to a physical location, browse shelves, and rent a DVD. The music industry never collapsed. Without Napster in 1999 and the piracy wave that followed, the CD market keeps growing past its $14.6 billion peak. Record stores are everywhere. Artists still need record labels because there is no other way to distribute music. Newspapers are a $50 billion industry. Print journalism is not dead, it is the primary way people get information, alongside television and radio. Editors and publishers still control what the public sees and reads. There is no citizen journalism. No viral videos. No Twitter breaking news faster than CNN. Information flows through professional gatekeepers. And here is where it gets darker. Or lighter. Depending on how you look at it. There is no social media. Facebook does not exist. Instagram does not exist. TikTok does not exist. The 5 billion people who currently use social media are talking to each other face to face, on the phone, or not at all. The teen mental health crisis that began around 2012, when smartphone adoption crossed a critical threshold, may never happen. The studies that linked screen time to rising depression and anxiety in teenagers lose their subject. The U.S. Surgeon General does not need to issue a warning about social media and youth mental health because there is no social media. But there is also no Arab Spring. The protests that toppled dictators in Tunisia and Egypt in 2011 used Facebook and Twitter to organize. Without them, the uprisings may still happen, the underlying grievances were real, but the speed and coordination that social media provided disappear. Authoritarian governments have more time to react, to suppress, to survive. There is no Cambridge Analytica harvesting 87 million Facebook profiles. There is no Russian troll farm running influence operations through fake accounts. The specific form of election interference that defined the 2010s and 2020s does not exist because its medium does not exist. Propaganda still exists, it has existed since ancient Rome, but it moves at the speed of television and print, not the speed of a retweet. There is no bulk surveillance. The NSA's mass data collection programs, revealed by Edward Snowden in 2013, require the internet to function. Without it, intelligence agencies still wiretap phones and open mail, but the scale is fundamentally different. You cannot surveil 5 billion people through the postal system. Cybercrime, currently costing an estimated $10 trillion a year globally, does not exist. There are no ransomware attacks on hospitals. No identity theft at scale. No phishing emails. Crime adapts to available technology, and without the internet, entire categories of crime simply never develop. Every major communication technology in history was feared when it arrived. The printing press would corrupt the masses. The telegraph would spread lies faster than truth. The telephone would destroy privacy. Television would rot children's brains. Video games would create killers. Every time, the fears contained a grain of truth. And every time, the catastrophic predictions were overblown. The internet follows this pattern. Except for one thing. Scale. The printing press took a century to reach most of Europe. The telephone took decades to reach most homes. The internet connected half the human species in 25 years. No technology in history has transformed civilization this quickly. And no technology has ever made the question this difficult to answer. Was it worth it? Would the world be better without the internet? Quieter, certainly. Slower. Less connected. Less informed, or less misinformed, depending on where you stood. Blockbuster would still be open. Newspapers would still be profitable. Teenagers would still be bored, but they would be bored outside. But a billion people in developing countries who gained access to banking, education, and markets through their phones would not have them. Medical research that depends on global data sharing would move at a fraction of its current speed. The democratization of knowledge, flawed and chaotic as it is, would not have happened. You would not be watching this. On October 29, 1969, a system crashed after 2 letters. The first word the internet ever spoke was an accident. Lo. As in lo and behold. It was the most prophetic accident in history.